Imagine an idol like Jimin suddenly stopping practice, standing still in front of the mirror and simply saying, "I miss the past." That short sentence shook BTS's practice room, not on stage, not in front of thousands of fans, but in a dim room, near the wooden floor that absorbed every drop of sweat. When the music stopped after 2 hours of choreography transitions, a deep silence filled the space. Everyone was exhausted. Then Park Jimin, breath heavy, hand pressed to the mirror, released a burden buried deep in his heart. His words were simple, yet piercing. "I miss the past." In that moment, the choreographer froze, backup dancers exchanged glances, and BTS members held back unspeakable tears. This wasn't longing for a person, but for the atmosphere of simpler practice days, 7 young men dreaming together until dawn, before global pressure, military service, world tours, and billion-dollar bills piled onto their shoulders. Jimin, the emotional center of BTS, represented his fellow members. When he felt the weight, the entire group shook. There was no camera shutter sound, only silence and cracked honesty. Jungkook, invisibly, became Jimin's emotional fate-keeper. His gaze, his subtle movements during practice, felt like signs that something was shifting. RM spoke of the museum of our lives, while Suga and V remained more subdued, almost restrained. Jin quickly wiped away tears, hidden from the others. The group's energy felt different, heavier, like the weight of time and unrelenting expectations. In the silence of management, fans protested via social media. A trending hashtag on X, "I miss the past too." Old practice clips, dorm videos, their joyful laughter, all went viral again. They weren't asking for clarification, just honesty. Army wrote, "We don't need choreography. We need closure." They were thirsty for truth, not just branding to HYB. Though silent, seemed busy releasing cheerful posts, merchandise, promotion schedules. But their silence felt deafening. Why was Jimin crying? What did the schedule delays mean? Or possibly a break? Why is there no acknowledgement? It's not merely marketing. Fans sensed a dissonance between image and reality. Now the question becomes urgent. What if the BTS members, deep down, no longer want to be success machines? Not because they're ungrateful, but because they've changed. They've grown. And Jimin, perhaps his tears weren't cries for help, but a soft greeting to a version of himself that's now gone. A quiet farewell to a time before the world demanded they become something bigger than themselves. However, in witnessing and feeling Jimin's story and his emotional statement in that practice room, "I miss the past," we cannot simply swallow the widespread narrative whole. Did that moment truly happen as portrayed? Are we witnessing a raw recording from the fragile side of a global idol? Or are we being drawn into an emotional script precisely designed to stir public empathy? Is this a form of personal expression or part of a content strategy? These are critical questions to ask, especially when the source of information comes from TikTok clips, YouTube transcripts, Twitter, now X, posts, and articles that cannot always be traced back to reliable origins. We must acknowledge that information now spreads faster than truth. The narrative of Jimin's tears, Jungkook's blank stare, and HYB's silence is moving. But who held the camera? Who edited the footage? And who first shared it online? This is where critical thinking becomes essential. Are we witnessing an unplanned, exposed reality? Or are we part of a perception game whose goal is far from pure truth? If it's true that Jimin expressed such deep emotions, why has there been no official statement from the agency? Why is there no visual documentation that can be independently verified? Does the absence of clarification strengthen the assumption that this was a real event being covered up? Or does it, instead, suggest this is merely a collective illusion born from our longing for emotional closeness with idols? Reflect on this. How often do we let emotions overpower reason when reacting to viral news? Has our love for BTS made us vulnerable to information manipulation? Could we be participating in the creation of a new myth, a tragedy that may never have occurred? Or do we simply want to believe that idols, too, are fragile so they feel more human and not so far out of reach? Let's be honest. Stories like this are easy to believe because they strike a collective soft spot, nostalgia, longing, and loss. But precisely because of that, we must be more cautious. This could very well be a fabrication that not only exploits fans' emotions, but also creates false tension that benefits certain parties. Who benefits if this story spreads? who loses if it turns out to be mere hearsay. We present this narrative based on a compilation of various sources that are not necessarily credible: TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, online forums, and popular entertainment media. We do not guarantee its truth. That's precisely why we invite you, the viewers, to dig deeper. Does this information align with verifiable data? Or are we merely consuming illusions neatly packaged by social media algorithms? Critique, clarification, and open discussion are key to avoiding the trap of hoaxes and sensationalism. In a world full of distraction and information manipulation, skepticism is not a negative attitude. It is our moral responsibility as consumers of information. So before believing, before being moved, before sharing, ask questions. Find the source. Verify the truth. Question the motives. Thank you for reading. Now, we'd like to hear your thoughts. Do you believe this event was real or merely emotional fabrication? Please share your reflections in the comment section. Let's create a space for healthy, critical, and intelligent discussion.